Alex was a young man who loved the mountains. He enjoyed hiking through tall forests and walking along winding trails. Life for Alex was not easy. He lived in a small apartment in the city and worked different small jobs. Some days he would work in a cafe, serving coffee and pastries. Other days he delivered packages or helped people move their furniture. No matter how hard he worked, money was always tight. He often went to bed hungry or skipped meals to save a little money. Even though life was difficult, Alex never gave up. He had a dream to one day have a place of his own. A place far from the noise of the city, where he could live peacefully and enjoy nature. Every morning, Alex would wake up early. He loved the quiet hours before sunrise. The city streets were empty and the air felt fresh. He would walk to work with his small backpack and think about the mountains he had visited during his vacations. Those trips made him feel free. They made him feel like he could do anything. Alex often imagined living in a small cabin in the woods, surrounded by tall trees with birds singing outside his window and a river flowing nearby. He had seen such places in magazines and on the internet, and he longed for that kind of life. One chilly morning, Alex returned home from his night shift at the cafe. He was tired, his feet ached, and his stomach felt empty. As he opened his mailbox, he noticed a thick envelope. It was unusual because he did not expect letters from anyone. He opened it carefully. The letter inside had a strange heading. It said, "Dear Alex Thompson, you have inherited property from Mr. Harold Harper, your distant relative. Please find enclosed details of the property and the key to the lodge." Alex could not believe his eyes. He read the letter again slowly, to make sure he understood it correctly. He had never met Mr. Harper. He did not even know much about his family history. How could someone he had never met leave him a lodge? The letter explained that the lodge was located in the mountains far from the city and had been abandoned for many years. It included a small key and directions to reach the place. Alex's heart started beating faster. He felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. This could be the chance he had always dreamed of. A lodge in the mountains could be his new home. It could give him the peace and freedom he had always wanted. He quickly packed a small bag with the essentials: clothes, some food, a flashlight, and his hiking boots. He wanted to see the lodge as soon as possible. The journey to the lodge was long. Alex had to take a bus, then a small train, and finally walk along a narrow mountain trail. The path was difficult with steep slopes and rocky areas, but Alex did not mind. He was used to hiking, and the thought of finally reaching the lodge kept him motivated. He enjoyed the fresh air and the sound of the wind in the trees. The birds sang and the sunlight shone through the branches, creating patterns on the ground. Alex felt happy and free, forgetting about all his worries for the first time in a long while. As he walked further into the mountains, he noticed the lodge from a distance. It stood silently among the tall pine trees. Its wooden walls looked old, and the roof had some missing shingles. The windows were dusty and the paint had faded over the years. The lodge seemed lonely and forgotten. But Alex did not feel scared. Instead, he felt a strange sense of belonging. He could imagine bringing life back to this place. He could see himself waking up every morning to the sound of birds, having tea on the porch and enjoying the mountains all around him. Alex approached the lodge and tried the key in the old wooden door. It opened with a loud creak. Dust floated in the air as he stepped inside. The inside smelled of old wood and time. Cobwebs hung from the corners of the ceiling, and the furniture was covered in thick dust. Some chairs had torn cushions and a few windows were broken. The floors were covered in fallen leaves and dirt that had come in from the wind. Despite all this, Alex smiled. He felt excitement in his chest. He saw the potential of the lodge. He could clean it, fix it, and make it a beautiful home. He walked through the main hall and looked at the large fireplace. He imagined lighting a fire on cold nights and sitting there with a warm blanket. He explored the rooms one by one, opening doors and peeking into closets. Each room had its own character, some small and cozy, others larger with high ceilings. Alex decided to stay the night in the lodge. He found a small room on the second floor and cleaned it enough to make it comfortable. He opened one of the windows to let in fresh air and looked outside. The mountains stretched as far as the eye could see, covered in green forests and sparkling streams. The sky was painted in shades of orange and pink as the sun set. Alex felt a calm happiness he had never experienced before. He cooked a simple meal with the food he had brought and sat by the window, watching the stars appear one by one in the clear night sky. Before going to sleep, Alex thought about what he would do next. He wanted to explore the lodge more, check every room, and see if there were any old belongings left behind. He also thought about the possibility of restoring the lodge and living there permanently. The idea made him feel hopeful. For the first time in years, he felt that life had given him a chance. The night passed quietly. Alex slept peacefully, surrounded by the stillness of the mountains. The lodge creaked occasionally, but it felt alive in its own way. The next morning, Alex woke up early and went outside. The air was fresh and the birds were singing again. He felt ready to explore the lodge fully and discover its secrets. As he walked around the property, he noticed the garden overgrown with weeds and flowers that had long been unattended. He also saw a small shed near the back of the lodge, which looked like it might contain old tools or supplies. Alex felt like the lodge was a puzzle, waiting for him to solve it. Every corner could have something new to find, and every room had a story to tell. Alex spent the entire morning cleaning and organizing the area around the lodge. He pulled weeds, swept the porch, and picked up fallen branches. By the time he finished, he felt proud of his work. The lodge was beginning to look a little less abandoned, and Alex could imagine it full of life again. As he took a short rest, Alex noticed a small wooden panel on the wall of the main hall, partially hidden behind a bookshelf. He had not seen it the night before. Curiosity filled him with excitement. He wondered what could be behind it. Could it be a storage area? Or maybe something left behind by Mr. Harper? He decided to investigate, feeling that this lodge held more secrets than he had first imagined. Alex pushed the panel slowly, and it opened slightly, revealing a narrow staircase going down. A cold breeze came from the opening, making Alex shiver. His heart raced, but he was determined. He grabbed his flashlight and took a deep breath. This was the beginning of a new adventure, and he felt ready to face whatever was hidden below. For Alex, the abandoned lodge was more than just a building. It was a chance, a gift, and a mystery all in one. He could feel that his life was about to change in ways he could not yet imagine. He smiled to himself, feeling excitement and hope fill his heart. The mountains were quiet, the lodge was waiting, and Alex was ready to discover its secrets. Alex stood at the top of the narrow staircase he had discovered the previous day. The small wooden panel behind the bookshelf had revealed a hidden passage, and a cool breeze came up from below. His heart was beating faster, but he felt a mix of excitement and curiosity. He turned on his flashlight and carefully began to descend the steps. Each step creaked slightly, reminding him that the lodge had been abandoned for years. When he reached the bottom, Alex found himself in a room he had never seen before. The space was surprisingly large, with a high ceiling and thick stone walls. Dust covered the floor, and the air smelled of old wood and time. Old furniture, covered with white sheets, stood against the walls. Several large boxes were stacked in corners, some labeled with faded handwriting. Alex shined his flashlight around the room, amazed at how much had been hidden beneath the lodge for so long. He walked slowly toward the boxes, running his fingers over the old labels. Some boxes were marked documents, others said valuables, and one had no label at all. Alex's curiosity grew with every step. He carefully opened the first box. Inside were piles of old papers and letters yellowed with age. He picked up one of the letters and read it by the light of his flashlight. The handwriting was neat, and the words told stories about Mr. Harper's life. He had traveled to many countries, collected rare items, and made wise investments. Alex felt amazed. He had never expected that Mr. Harper had such a life. The more he read, the more he realized that this hidden room was not just a storage space. It was a collection of memories, treasures, and secrets that had been kept safe for many years. He carefully put the letters aside and opened another box. This box was heavier, and when Alex opened it, he discovered stacks of coins. They were old and shiny, some made of gold and silver. Each coin had different designs and inscriptions. Alex's eyes widened in surprise. He had never seen coins like these before. He picked one up and examined it closely. It looked very valuable. He placed the coins back carefully, making sure not to disturb their arrangement. Alex continued exploring the room. In one corner, he noticed a small chest with a golden lock. The chest looked different from the other items in the room. It seemed more important. He tried opening it, but the lock was old and stiff. He found a small key in a nearby drawer and slowly inserted it into the lock. With a click, the chest opened. Inside, Alex discovered a collection of rare items. There were old jewelry pieces, small paintings, and delicate ornaments. Each item looked carefully made and full of history. Alex felt a mix of excitement and disbelief. How could one lodge hold so many treasures? He realized that Mr. Harper had hidden these items for a reason. Perhaps he wanted them to be found by someone who appreciated them. Alex felt honored to be the one who discovered this hidden room. He carefully examined each item, making sure to touch nothing roughly. He wanted to preserve the treasures and learn more about them before making any decisions. After exploring the chest, Alex turned his attention back to the rest of the room. There were shelves filled with books, some old and fragile, others newer and well-kept. He picked up a few books and read the titles. Many were about history, art, and travel. Some books had notes in the margins, written by Mr. Harper himself. Alex could see that Mr. Harper had loved learning and exploring the world. Alex spent the next several hours carefully examining the room. He opened every box, read every letter, and studied every item. Each discovery made him feel more connected to the lodge and to Mr. Harper's life. He realized that this hidden room was not just valuable because of the coins or jewelry, but because it told a story. It showed a life full of curiosity, adventure, and care. By the time the sun began to set, Alex had made a small pile of the most interesting documents and coins. He carried them upstairs to the main hall of the lodge and placed them on a table. He wanted to keep them safe and think about what to do next. He also decided to take photographs of the items so that he could show experts later. The lodge felt different now. It was no longer just an abandoned building. It was a place full of history and secrets waiting to be discovered. Alex walked through the main hall and looked around. He noticed how the sunlight fell through the windows, creating patterns on the floor. The lodge seemed alive in a way he had not noticed before. He felt a strong connection to this place, as if it had been waiting for him to arrive. That night, Alex slept in the same room he had chosen before, but his dreams were filled with excitement. He imagined what life could be like if he restored the lodge. He thought about turning it into a place where people could come and enjoy the mountains while learning about the history hidden within the walls. The thought made him feel hopeful and inspired. The next morning, Alex returned to the hidden room. He wanted to organize the items he had found and examine them more carefully. He opened the chest again and studied each piece of jewelry. He looked at the paintings, noting the colors and the way the brushstrokes had been made. Some paintings were landscapes, showing mountains, rivers, and forests. Others were portraits of people Alex did not recognize. Each one seemed to tell a story, and Alex wanted to understand it. While examining the room, Alex discovered something else. Behind a stack of boxes, there was another small door, almost hidden from view. It was smaller than the first hidden panel, but Alex could see that it led to another part of the lodge he had never seen. His curiosity grew stronger. He wondered what could be behind this new door. Was there another room, even more treasures, or perhaps more documents about Mr. Harper's life? Alex took a deep breath and opened the small door. It revealed a tiny room filled with old maps and journals. The maps showed different parts of the world, some marked with notes in Mr. Harper's handwriting. The journals were full of stories, travel experiences, and personal reflections. Alex realized that Mr. Harper had carefully documented his life and adventures. Each page was a window into a world Alex had never known. For hours, Alex read the journals and studied the maps. He felt as if he was traveling alongside Mr. Harper, experiencing his adventures and learning from his discoveries. The hidden room had become a treasure not only of valuable items but also of knowledge and inspiration. Alex understood that he had a responsibility to take care of it and share its wonders in the right way. By the end of the day, Alex felt both tired and excited. He had uncovered the secrets of the lodge, and he knew that his life was about to change. The hidden room had revealed treasures, knowledge, and inspiration. It was a turning point in his life. He decided to keep exploring the lodge, documenting everything, and thinking carefully about how to use the discoveries to create a better future for himself. Alex realized that the lodge was more than just a place to live. It was a connection to the past, a story waiting to be told, and an opportunity to build a new life. He felt gratitude for the chance to inherit it and for the adventures that lay ahead. The hidden room had opened a door to possibilities he had never imagined. As Alex turned off his flashlight and prepared to leave the hidden room, he felt a sense of wonder and determination. He knew that the discoveries he had made were just the beginning. The lodge, with all its secrets and treasures, had become a part of his life. Alex felt ready to embrace the journey ahead, knowing that each day would bring new surprises, new challenges, and new opportunities. The mountains outside were quiet, and the lodge stood silently, holding its secrets close. Alex smiled to himself. The abandoned lodge had given him hope, excitement, and a chance to start a new chapter in his life. He knew that tomorrow would bring more discoveries, and he could not wait to continue exploring the hidden room and everything the lodge had to offer. After spending several days exploring the hidden room, Alex realized that the lodge was more than just a home. It was a place full of possibilities. He thought about all the treasures, documents, and items he had discovered. Each piece told a story, and together they created a picture of Mr. Harper's life. Alex felt inspired. He knew he could use this opportunity to create something meaningful, something that could change his life and the lives of others. Alex sat by the fireplace in the main hall, looking at the items he had brought from the hidden room. The old coins glimmered in the sunlight that fell through the windows. The small paintings leaned against the wall, each showing a different landscape or portrait. He carefully organized the letters and documents, reading them one by one. Each letter revealed small details about Mr. Harper's travels, business dealings, and personal reflections. Alex felt as though he was connecting with the past, learning from someone who had lived a full and interesting life. As he examined the room and its contents, an idea formed in Alex's mind. He could not keep all the treasures for himself. Some were valuable, and others were of historical importance. Instead of selling everything immediately, he could restore the lodge and create a place for visitors. People could come to enjoy the mountains, explore the history, and experience the hidden treasures in a safe and respectful way. The idea excited Alex. He imagined travelers staying in the lodge, waking up to the sound of birds, enjoying warm meals, and learning about the history of the lodge and its secret room. Alex began planning how to turn the lodge into a retreat. He made a list of tasks. First, he needed to repair the lodge itself. Some windows were broken, the roof had leaks, and the floors needed cleaning. Second, he wanted to organize the hidden room properly so that visitors could safely see the treasures without damaging them. Third, he needed to prepare rooms for guests. Each room had to feel comfortable and welcoming. Finally, he wanted to plant flowers, trim the garden, and create walking paths around the lodge. Alex knew it would be a lot of work, but he felt ready for the challenge. He started small. Each morning, Alex would wake up early and begin cleaning. He swept the floors, dusted the furniture, and opened the windows to let in fresh air. He repaired small broken items and organized the lodge bit by bit. When he cleaned the fireplace, he found a set of old logs that were still usable. He carried them inside and arranged them neatly. The lodge was slowly transforming. Alex could see his hard work making a difference. While cleaning and repairing, Alex also worked on organizing the hidden room. He placed the coins in neat stacks and wrapped some of the more delicate items in soft cloth. He labeled the boxes and created a small catalog of everything he had found. Each item was carefully documented with notes about its origin and importance. Alex wanted to make sure nothing was lost or damaged. The hidden room had become the heart of the lodge, a place full of mystery and wonder. As the days passed, Alex also explored the surrounding area. He discovered a small stream that ran behind the lodge and a few scenic spots with beautiful views of the mountains. He marked safe trails for walking and even found a few places where guests could set up picnic areas. Alex imagined families, hikers, and travelers coming to stay and enjoy the natural beauty. He could see the lodge becoming a place of joy and inspiration for many people. One afternoon, while Alex was arranging a few items from the hidden room, a neighbor walked by. She was an older woman named Margaret, who lived in a nearby village. She had noticed the new activity at the lodge and came to introduce herself. Alex welcomed her and showed her the main hall and the garden. Margaret was impressed. She said that the lodge had always been a mysterious place, and most villagers thought it was abandoned forever. She told Alex that Mr. Harper had been well known in the village for his kindness and generosity. Alex listened carefully, grateful for the information. Margaret offered to help Alex with advice about local regulations, supplies, and even suggested where he could find reliable workers to help with the lodge. Alex felt relieved. He realized that the lodge could not be restored alone, and having guidance from someone experienced would be valuable. The next step for Alex was to make the lodge more appealing for guests. He cleaned and decorated each room with simple, comfortable furniture. He repaired the beds, washed the curtains, and placed fresh flowers in each room. He also prepared a small area for meals, where guests could sit and enjoy breakfast or tea while looking out at the mountains. Alex wanted the lodge to feel warm and welcoming, a place where people could relax and forget their worries. Alex also decided to create a small exhibition for the hidden treasures. He displayed some of the coins, paintings, and documents in glass cases. He wrote simple descriptions so visitors could understand the history behind each item. He wanted everyone to feel the magic of the lodge without risking the safety of the treasures. Visitors would not only enjoy the natural beauty of the mountains, but also learn about Mr. Harper's life and the secrets he had left behind. As the lodge started to take shape, word began to spread. A few travelers who were hiking nearby noticed the activity and came to visit. They were curious about the old lodge and its restoration. Alex welcomed them warmly, showing them the rooms and telling stories about the lodge and the hidden room. The guests were amazed and delighted. They took photographs, asked questions, and promised to tell their friends about the lodge. Alex felt proud. His hard work was paying off and the lodge was beginning to gain attention. The positive response encouraged Alex to keep working. Each day brought new challenges but also new rewards. Some days were tiring with long hours of cleaning and organizing. Other days were exciting, as he discovered more items in the hidden room or improved the garden. Alex felt a strong sense of purpose. He knew that this lodge could change his life and the lives of many others. The lodge was no longer just a building. It was a place of opportunity, a place of stories, and a place of hope. Alex also reflected on the treasure he had discovered. He knew that some of the items were valuable and could provide financial support. However, he decided to be careful. He did not want to rush into selling anything. Instead, he planned to consult experts to understand the true value of each item. Alex realized that the treasure could be a tool to secure the lodge's future and improve the lives of people who visited. It was not just money. It was a resource to create something meaningful. As weeks passed, the lodge became more welcoming and beautiful. The garden was full of flowers, the rooms were clean and comfortable, and the hidden room was organized and safe for viewing. Alex began receiving more visitors. Travelers came from nearby villages, towns, and even cities. Everyone admired the lodge and the way Alex had restored it. They appreciated the peaceful environment, the friendly atmosphere, and the opportunity to learn about the hidden treasures. One evening, as Alex watched the sunset from the porch, he reflected on how much his life had changed. A few months ago, he had been a struggling hiker, worried about money and uncertain about his future. Now he owned a lodge in the mountains, had discovered hidden treasures, and was creating a place of joy for others. Alex felt grateful for the chance that life had given him. The lodge had not only provided him with an opportunity to improve his life, but also inspired him to dream bigger. Alex knew that this was only the beginning. The lodge held many more secrets, and there were still improvements to make. He planned to continue exploring the hidden room, documenting the treasures, and learning more about Mr. Harper's life. He also wanted to expand the lodge, add more trails, and create small workshops where visitors could learn about nature, history, and art. Alex felt that his adventure had only just started, and he was excited about the possibilities ahead. The lodge, once abandoned and forgotten, was now a place of hope, discovery, and opportunity. Alex had turned his curiosity and hard work into something meaningful. The hidden treasures were not only valuable in material terms, but had given him knowledge, inspiration, and a sense of purpose. He smiled, feeling proud and excited for the future. The mountains stood quietly around the lodge. The trees swayed gently in the wind, and Alex knew that he had found his true home. As the lodge continued to improve, Alex noticed that more travelers were visiting. Some came from nearby villages, while others traveled from distant towns. They were curious about the lodge and the mysterious hidden room that Alex had discovered. Word had spread quickly about the treasures, old documents, and paintings. People wanted to see them, and Alex was happy to share the history carefully and respectfully. One sunny afternoon, a man named Mr. Lewis arrived at the lodge. He was an older gentleman with sharp eyes and a kind smile. He introduced himself as a historian who specialized in rare artifacts and old collections. Alex welcomed him warmly and offered to show him the hidden room. Mr. Lewis's eyes lit up when he heard the story of the lodge and its secret treasures. Alex led Mr. Lewis down the narrow staircase and opened the hidden room. The historian examined the coins, paintings, jewelry, and documents with great interest. He carefully took notes, asked questions, and even sketched some of the items. After a while, he turned to Alex and said, "You have discovered something extraordinary. Many of these items are rare and valuable. Some coins are from distant countries and centuries ago. The paintings are unique and very well preserved. You should be very proud of this discovery." Alex felt a mix of pride and excitement. He had already felt that the hidden room was special, but hearing it from an expert made it real. He asked Mr. Lewis how he could protect the items and share them with visitors safely. Mr. Lewis suggested that Alex display some of the treasures in glass cases, document each item carefully, and create a small guide for visitors explaining their history. Alex listened carefully, noting every suggestion. The visit from Mr. Lewis brought more attention to the lodge. He wrote an article about the hidden room and the treasures for a local magazine. Soon people from nearby cities and even neighboring regions came to see the lodge. Families, history enthusiasts, and travelers were all curious to visit the place that had once been abandoned. Alex welcomed each visitor, sharing the stories he had learned from the letters and documents. He showed them the hidden room, explaining the significance of each item carefully so that everyone could appreciate its history. Alex also realized that he needed help managing the growing number of visitors. He hired a few staff members from the nearby village to assist with cleaning, cooking, and guiding visitors. They were kind and hardworking people, and Alex appreciated their help. Together, they ensured that the lodge remained clean, welcoming, and safe. The hidden treasures were protected, and the visitors could enjoy them without any risk. As the lodge became more popular, Alex also decided to expand the lodge's services. He created walking trails around the property, added picnic areas near the stream, and set up small spots where visitors could relax and enjoy the mountain view. He even organized guided hikes, teaching guests about the plants, trees, and animals they might encounter. Alex wanted every visitor to feel connected to nature and to the history of the lodge. One day, a young artist named Clara visited the lodge. She was fascinated by the paintings and documents in the hidden room. She asked Alex if she could paint some of the landscapes and portraits she saw. Alex agreed, happy that someone wanted to continue sharing the lodge's story through art. Clara's paintings became a new addition to the lodge, displayed alongside the original treasures. Visitors admired the creativity and talent, and the lodge became known not only for its hidden treasures, but also for its artistic inspiration. With the lodge growing in popularity, Alex also decided to organize small events. He invited historians, collectors, and artists to speak about the treasures and the history of the lodge. These events attracted even more visitors and created a sense of community. People came not only to see the lodge, but also to learn and share knowledge. Alex felt proud that the lodge had become a place of learning, creativity, and joy. Despite the increasing attention, Alex remained humble. He remembered his days as a struggling hiker and the simple life he had once lived. He treated every visitor with kindness and respect, sharing the stories he had learned without exaggeration. He wanted the lodge to remain a place of wonder and discovery, not just fame or profit. His focus was on creating experiences that inspired people, encouraged curiosity, and allowed everyone to appreciate the beauty of history and nature. The hidden room continued to be the main attraction. Visitors were amazed by the coins, paintings, and letters. Many people asked questions, wanting to know the story behind each item. Alex explained that Mr. Harper had lived a full and adventurous life, collecting items from his travels and documenting his experiences carefully. He emphasized that the treasures were valuable not only for their material worth, but also for the knowledge and history they represented. One afternoon, a group of students from a nearby school visited the lodge. Alex led them through the hidden room, showing them the coins, documents, and paintings. The students were fascinated. They asked many questions, eager to learn more. Alex encouraged them to imagine the life of Mr. Harper, to think about the adventures he might have had, and to consider what they could discover in their own lives. The students left inspired and grateful for the experience. As the lodge gained fame, Alex also realized that he could use the treasure to improve the lodge further. He consulted experts about the value of the coins and paintings. Some items were very rare and could bring a significant sum if sold to trusted collectors. However, Alex was careful. He did not want to sell everything at once. Instead, he planned to use the value of some items to secure the lodge's future, fund renovations, and provide better services for visitors. He wanted the lodge to remain a place of discovery and inspiration for many years to come. The lodge had become more than a building. It had become a destination. Travelers came to enjoy the mountains, learn about history, and experience the hidden treasures. Alex felt proud of the work he had done and grateful for the opportunities the lodge had given him. He knew that the lodge had changed his life, just as it was changing the lives of the visitors who came to see it. Even with all the attention and visitors, Alex continued to explore the lodge himself. He examined the hidden room regularly, discovering new details in the documents and paintings. Some letters had small sketches, while others contained notes about Mr. Harper's thoughts and reflections. Alex realized that the more he learned, the more he understood the care and effort Mr. Harper had put into preserving his life and experiences. The hidden room was a treasure of knowledge, not just of material wealth. With each passing day, Alex felt more connected to the lodge and to the mountains. He loved seeing families enjoy picnics, artists painting in the gardens, and students learning about history. The lodge had become a place of happiness, learning, and inspiration. Alex knew that he had turned a struggling hiker's life into something meaningful. The abandoned lodge had become a thriving center of curiosity and joy. At the end of the day, Alex often stood on the porch and looked at the sunset. The mountains glowed in golden light, the trees swayed gently, and the lodge stood proudly among them. He felt a deep sense of satisfaction and purpose. The hidden room had brought fame, visitors, and value to the lodge, but it had also given Alex something more important, a sense of achievement, connection, and hope for the future. Alex knew that the lodge's story was still unfolding. There were more visitors to welcome, more treasures to explore, and more adventures to experience. He felt ready to face whatever came next. The lodge, once abandoned and forgotten, had become a place of wonder, learning, and community. Alex smiled, knowing that he had not only discovered a hidden room but had also unlocked a new chapter of life filled with opportunity and inspiration. Alex had come a long way since the day he first received the letter about the lodge. From a struggling hiker who worried about money and survival, he had transformed the abandoned lodge into a thriving destination. Visitors arrived daily to enjoy the mountains, explore the hidden room, and learn about the treasures that had been preserved for decades. Alex felt proud of what he had accomplished, but he also knew that this was only the beginning of a new chapter in his life. The hidden room continued to be the lodge's main attraction. Travelers, historians, students, and artists came from all over to see the coins, paintings, and documents carefully preserved by Alex. Many visitors asked questions, eager to understand the story behind each item. Alex enjoyed sharing the history, explaining Mr. Harper's life, travels, and careful collection of rare items. He emphasized that the treasure was not only valuable but also meaningful, because it reflected a life filled with curiosity, adventure, and care. One morning, Alex received a visit from a well-known appraiser named Mr. Daniels. He had heard about the lodge and the hidden room from other historians. Mr. Daniels examined each coin, painting, and jewelry piece carefully. After several hours of study, he confirmed that many of the items were rare and highly valuable. Some coins were from countries Alex had never even heard of, and some paintings were considered collectible works of art. The documents, letters, and journals were of historical importance, containing detailed accounts of Mr. Harper's travels and life experiences. Alex listened carefully to Mr. Daniels' report. He realized that the treasure he had discovered could provide financial security and allow him to improve the lodge even further. However, he was careful. He did not want to sell everything at once. Instead, he decided to sell only select items to trusted buyers, ensuring that the most important pieces remained in the lodge for visitors to enjoy. This approach would give him the funds to expand the lodge while preserving its history and charm. With the first sale completed, Alex received a substantial amount of money. It was more than he had ever imagined earning in a lifetime of small jobs. Yet Alex remained humble. He knew that the true value of the lodge was not the money but the opportunity it provided to share knowledge, history, and the beauty of the mountains with others. He used the money wisely to renovate the lodge further, adding comfortable rooms, modern amenities, and safe viewing areas for the hidden room. The lodge continued to grow in popularity. Families came for weekend getaways, students visited for educational trips, and artists came to draw inspiration from the mountains and the treasures. Alex hired a few more staff members to help manage the lodge, including guides who could explain the history and significance of the hidden room. Every visitor left with a sense of wonder and appreciation for the lodge and its story. Despite his growing success, Alex remained the same person he had always been. He still enjoyed hiking alone, exploring the surrounding mountains and observing nature. He often took long walks along the trails he had marked, breathing in the fresh air and feeling connected to the world around him. The lodge had given him financial security, fame, and recognition, but it had also given him peace and happiness. He valued the quiet moments in the mountains just as much as the bustling activity inside the lodge. One day, Alex decided to organize a special exhibition in the hidden room. He invited historians, collectors, and travelers to see the most valuable coins and paintings he had preserved. The event was a great success. Guests were amazed by the treasures, impressed by Alex's careful management, and inspired by the history behind each item. The exhibition brought even more recognition to the lodge and further increased the number of visitors. As the lodge grew more successful, Alex also began thinking about the future. He wanted the lodge to continue thriving even if he were not there every day. He established a small foundation to manage the lodge, ensuring that the treasures would be preserved and the lodge would remain open for visitors for generations. He also created educational programs for students, teaching them about history, art, and nature. Alex felt proud knowing that his work would benefit many people long into the future. The hidden room, once a secret tucked away for decades, had now become a symbol of discovery, inspiration, and opportunity. People from different places came to see it, learn from it, and appreciate the life of Mr. Harper. Alex understood that his role was not only to preserve the treasures, but also to share their stories. He carefully explained the significance of each coin, painting, and document, emphasizing the importance of curiosity, learning, and respect for history. Over time, Alex's life changed dramatically. The lodge provided a steady income, and the treasures he had preserved were valuable enough to make him a millionaire. Yet Alex remained grounded. He did not spend his money recklessly. Instead, he invested in improving the lodge, creating programs for visitors, and helping the local community. He funded repairs for nearby hiking trails, supported local artisans, and provided jobs for villagers. Alex believed that wealth was not only about personal gain, but also about creating opportunities for others. Alex also discovered that the lodge brought more than financial success. It brought happiness, purpose, and a sense of fulfillment he had never felt before. He had turned a struggling hiker's life into one filled with adventure, learning, and meaningful connections. Guests often expressed their gratitude, telling him how the lodge inspired them to explore, study, or follow their own dreams. Alex smiled, knowing that the lodge was making a positive difference in the lives of many people. Even with all his success, Alex continued to explore the mountains. He loved finding quiet spots by the stream, observing wildlife, and discovering hidden paths. These walks reminded him of his early days as a hiker, when life was simple and the world seemed full of possibilities. The lodge had given him a home, financial stability, and recognition, but the mountains had given him peace and freedom. Alex cherished both equally. One afternoon, a young family arrived at the lodge. The parents had read about the hidden treasures, and their children were eager to see the lodge and explore the mountains. Alex welcomed them warmly and guided them through the rooms, explaining the history and stories behind the hidden treasures. The children were fascinated, asking questions about the coins, paintings, and letters. Alex enjoyed sharing the knowledge he had gathered. He encouraged them to explore, be curious, and appreciate the beauty and history around them. As the sun began to set, Alex stood on the porch and looked at the lodge. The mountains glowed in warm colors and the trees swayed gently in the wind. He felt a deep sense of satisfaction and pride. From a struggling hiker with little money and few opportunities, he had become a successful lodge owner and a millionaire. Yet more importantly, he had found happiness, purpose, and a sense of connection to the world. The lodge had given Alex a home, the hidden room had given him fortune, and the mountains had given him peace. Together they created a life that was meaningful and fulfilling. Alex knew that he had turned a simple inheritance into something extraordinary. The lodge was no longer just a building, it was a place of learning, inspiration, and adventure. Visitors continued to arrive, and the lodge's reputation grew. Alex felt proud of how far he had come. He had transformed a forgotten, abandoned lodge into a thriving destination, preserving history, sharing knowledge, and creating joy for countless people. The hidden room, once a secret, had changed his life in ways he had never imagined. Alex realized that wealth was not only measured by money, but also by the impact one could have on others. The lodge had given him financial security, but it had also allowed him to inspire, educate, and connect with people from all walks of life. He had created something that would last long after he was gone, a legacy of discovery, curiosity, and kindness. As night fell, Alex looked up at the stars above the mountains. The lodge stood quietly, holding its treasures and stories. Alex felt content. He had achieved more than he had ever dreamed, yet he remained humble, grateful, and inspired. The journey from a struggling hiker to a successful lodge owner and millionaire had been remarkable. Every step, every discovery, and every decision had led him to this moment. Alex smiled, knowing that his adventure was still ongoing. The lodge would continue to welcome visitors, the hidden room would continue to inspire curiosity, and the mountains would continue to offer peace and beauty. He had found his true home, his purpose, and his happiness. The abandoned lodge, once forgotten, had become the center of a life full of opportunity, learning, and joy. Alex understood that sometimes life presents unexpected gifts, and it is up to the person to recognize them and make the most of them. He had turned a simple inheritance into a remarkable journey. The lodge, the hidden room, and the mountains had transformed his life completely, and Alex felt ready for whatever the future would bring.